Hello there, and welcome to the Apples and Ginos Fantasy Hockey Podcast. This is week 7 of Trade Talks. My name is Brian, and I'm joined by Evan and Ryan. And today we'll be rolling through some of our favorite trade grades. We'll provide some target grades on some real trades, and we'll highlight some other players of interest in week 7 of your fantasy hockey season. Here we go.
All right, welcome in everybody. Week 7 of Trade Talks. We are here and we are going to dive right into some comments after we hear from Brian and Evan. Brian, how are you doing today?
Feeling great. Excited to talk some trades. The week has been too long since the last time, so excited to be here.
Evan, what is up?
Not much other than my laptop burning to the ground. So it's in the old shop. So I'm mobile here, boys. So just bear with my audio. If you're watching on YouTube, don't watch my screen. I'm going to be whiplashing around looking at all these scores tonight.
All right. We got the commitment of the mobile
Dedication.
Streams here. Very dedicated. We'll get into a first comment here by Bon. Should I trade Byfield and Morgan Riley? If so, for who? I think Morgan Riley would be a nice person to sell on, but trade targets, trade who you trading for. I think stay tuned and we'll get into our favorite trade targets, and there might be one in there that you want. Peter says you traded. Okay, I think he wants us to grade a trade real quick. You traded Connor Garland, Matt Zuccarello, and Jack Hughes. Interesting. In exchange for Thomas Hertl, Dylan Guenther, and Jordan Binnington. We don't have any settings, but without knowing settings, I like it. It's tough. If you need the help now, maybe you're 0-6 like me, and you're in deep water and you got to trade away Jack Hughes and get some help right now. You're getting Hertl and Guenther for Garland and Zuccarello, and then you miss out on Hughes when he comes back. But I don't know, maybe he trips and falls while he's walking in a parking lot. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen to Jack Hughes? He's the clumsiest man in the NHL. What about you guys? Would you do this trade?
Honestly, I wouldn't do this trade just because Jack Hughes I know isn't going to be out for too long. But to that point, who knows? He might come back and cut himself on a spoon next time. So you always got to take that into consideration. But I think I'd prefer to have Jack Hughes now. Depends where you are in the league.
Evan, how about you?
Yeah, I agree with Brian pretty much. Unless you're in a need to win now spot, I would hold on to Jack Hughes. I'm sure you guys have done the same, but I've sent a lot of trade offers to Jack Hughes owners in some of my leagues and have been rejected. So I think you hold on to him for when he comes back and is going to inevitably light it up until he crashes into the boards, right, Ryan?
Inevitable, yes. Everything with Jack Hughes is inevitable. But yeah, let's get into some newsies. Before we get into some real news, I do just want to say it wasn't me. I didn't cut Jack Hughes, okay? I didn't tamper with this table that he leaned on, so stop pointing fingers at me, guys. I do not wish any ill will on Jack Hughes, all right? Do you guys believe me?
No, I'm going to stay quiet. I don't know.
Where were you on the night of the 17th, Ryan?
I do not remember, sir.
That's not going to hold up.
Are you going to take me to court?
You might have to.
All right. In other news, Joey Daccord returns, so no more Philip Grubauer or Matt Murray streams with benefits. They'll be true streamers if you're into that, and Joey Daccord remains a great zero-G option because you probably drafted him real late, and he's going to get a ton of starts and have some great play on Seattle. Joseph Woll, the brick wall, returns as well, and great timing for the Leafs because they didn't want to rely on Dennis Hildeby. So he was probably heavily drafted and stashed on the IR, so you can get him right back in your lineups, and hopefully the Leafs can turn around and get Joseph Woll some wins. Matt Duchene got placed on the LTIR, and not really much information there. But he won't return anytime soon, so that's bad news for him. In other news, Jamie Benn, his teammate, does return. He was slotting into the fourth line and the second power play, although the third period of Dallas's last game against the Islanders, he did get moved up with Wyatt Johnston and Mikko Rantanen for a few shifts. I think it was like 3 or 4 shifts. So something to keep an eye on in practice. If Jamie Benn is on that line, I think he's definitely worth a stream if Dallas has a good schedule and someone I'd be keeping an eye on. Sandin Pellikka is on Detroit's top power play for 2 games now, and Sider was moved to the second power play. So that's something to keep an eye on. I'm not panicking if I'm a Sider owner. I think this is something they're trying out, but if this sticks, Sandin Pellikka, who is not rosterable without this power play treatment, is definitely worthy of a roster spot. What do you guys think about this Detroit power play situation?
I think he'll find his. I think Sider will find his way back up to the top power play at some point. They've been trying to shuffle things around a little bit here. I think I saw maybe a week ago or something. It was like Larkin and Raymond were the only ones that are normally on the top power play that stayed on the top power play. So I don't know. I think they're just trying things out, but I'd imagine Sider would be back up there.
Yeah, I agree. I do think Sandin Pellikka is the power play 1 quarterback of the future. When that happens is kind of up for debate. He did look good. He looks good. He moves the puck quickly. He's got a good shot. He's a pretty good skater too. I think the worry from a Detroit side is that they're like running Sider too much. Like they rely on him heavily for even strength minutes and the penalty kill. So, if they have somebody they can put on PP1 and help balance out both power plays would be nice. But yeah, I agree with the fact that he'll probably get back up there.
Yeah. And Sandin Pellikka does have a pretty cool first name, Axel. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's an extra 5 points in the APL, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If the X is at the end of the name, it's negative points. But if it's in the second letter, pretty cool. All right. And then Victor Hedman is still out as of Wednesday, November 19th. But Cirelli returns, strengthening the lineup there. Victor Hedman being out, Darren Radish is still a great stream. He got 2 points in their last game.
It was 3.
3 points. All right. 2 on the power play, right?
I think so.
Yes. And keep him in your lineup. Pick him up if he's still there, as long as Hedman is still injured, but Hedman should probably return soon. Brian, you want to take us away with some other newsies?
Yeah, I get the depressing news about all the Toronto Maple Leafs and everyone that's hurt on that team, but I'll kick things off with Matthews here. He is targeting a Saturday return. We did hear from Craig Berube that he wasn't going to play Tuesday or Thursday, I think it was, and then might play Saturday. So keep your eyes out there. Hopefully he comes back soon. And you don't find out at some point that he's in Germany for whatever reason. So let's keep our fingers crossed there. Matthew Nyes is out with a lower body injury. Funny enough, he did show up to the arena the other day to play, and then right at last minute, he just wasn't going to go. They found out after that he had a lower body injury. He re-aggravated something from earlier in the season, so they're resting him now, see if he can get something back. I wouldn't be surprised if he misses another game, but I don't think it's serious. But I don't have the inside scoop, so that's my take. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins not on the road trip. Which is unfortunate to the Nuge owners because he was doing really well when he was healthy. But on the other side, if you were fortunate enough to pick up Roslovic, make sure you keep holding him because he's been crushing it, fitting in nicely there. And I feel like his value is going to stay right up there so long as the Oilers are not healthy. So keep hold on to Roslovic. Dougie Hamilton, he was seen practicing. So I guess you're going to add Dougie Hamilton back to the power play quarterbacks. Now they look like they have 3 in Nemeth, Hughes. They got Hamilton. I don't know. Does Brendan Dillon want to be a power play quarterback too?
they were practicing with Edwards. I don't really know who that is, but Edwards was getting some looks on Power Play 1.
Wow.
But not in the game, right?
Yeah.
Not yet. We'll see.
Honestly, I think that just goes to show that the New Jersey Devils coach is an active listener of the Apples and Ginos, and he hates Luke, that we are so high on Luke Hughes. I think that's what it is. Regardless, I digress. Moving on, Hartman is week to week, and Yurov is line 1 slotted between Kaprizov and Zuccarello. I was eyeing him a little bit, but if he's not getting any points, he's not giving you anything else. So maybe keep an eye on him, see if he starts to do stuff, but great deployment there. McAvoy is still out. I think he actually just got surgery done, so he'll be out for a little while longer. Lindholm, for the time being, is the replacement on Power Play 1. Hasn't looked great, but who knows? Maybe he'll settle in, pick you up a couple of points. Definitely worth the ad since the Bruins power play has been pretty decent recently. And then lastly, Klingberg was scratched. So Orlov is back to PP1. He had some early success early in the season. And who knows, maybe if he can, have another moment in the sun here, then things will start looking good. So if you held on to Orlov when he was hot a couple weeks ago, keep holding him, and otherwise pick him up if you're playing in Celebrini.
Yeah, I had Orlov in the APL. Just like he had great block numbers and periffs too. And then if he got that power play point, that's great. And I just forgot to drop him, I guess, when he wasn't on Power Play 1 anymore. But he was still putting up like a few blocks here and there. And I just dropped him for Sandin Pellikka, which is fine, but maybe I should get him back.
Yeah, we'll see if it bites you.
We'll see. All right, before we get into trade targets, we can get through a few more questions here. Thought from Ben, thoughts on Matthews and Raymond for Marchenko and Caulfield. Interesting. I think that's a similar trade to the Jack Hughes trade we talked about, where if you need help now and you're trading away Matthews and Raymond, Marchenko and Caulfield could definitely help you now. But I think in the long run, over the season, I'd definitely rather have Matthews and Raymond. Brian, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm the same. It depends where you are in the standings, but my initial thoughts would be I'd be hard pressed to get off of Matthews and Raymond, especially if Matthews is planning on coming back this week. If he was out longer, that might be something different.
Evan?
Echo the same.
Right on. All right, another question here. BDQW168 is trading with someone in a PIMS Bangers league. He wants my JT Miller and Kadri and Nichus, and he wants to give up Cooch. Okay, interesting. How can I make it more fair for me? Thinking of asking to add Paterka or Slav. Yeah, I think that's Nichus and Miller. Might be, and Kadri, that might be too much to give up for Kucherov. So, and I don't think Slafkovsky or Paterka would make me do that trade. So he's got to add another like top 60 piece, in my opinion. What about you guys?
Yeah, I would echo the same, especially because Kucherov has been off to such a slow start. I mean, he's picked it up, but yeah, I would feel a lot more comfortable if you sweeten the pot a little bit. Give me someone in the top 50.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tim's is nice for Slafkovsky, but he got moved off the top line, top power play for Bolduc recently here. So yeah, I would definitely ask for another piece.
Yeah, especially like JT Miller right now. You're trading solo, and in a PIMS Banger league, JT Miller at his peak could be a top 2, top 3 player in that league. And right now, it's like you're trading like Kucherov is leading the league in points, which he's not doing. So we're not doing that.
Did you guys see that clip from the Vegas game last night where JT Miller literally just like skates off? That's
infuriating.
Doesn't look good.
Yeah, somewhere Blake is looking at that game going, I knew it. I saw it in Vancouver.
Yeah. Lucio is saying hello and shouting out Brian for being an amazing gentleman. But he's also working on a trade. He's working on a trade live. 10-man head-to-head league, goals 6.5, assists 4.5, and looks like shots and hits are 0.7 and a block is 1. He'd be trading away Darnell Nurse, the Eggman, my boy, who has 2 goals tonight. And he'd trade away Dorofeev, and he'd receive Cider and Paterka. Paterka is a streamer in a 10-man for sure. So it's really Nurse and Dorofeev for Mo Cider. And the blocks get you pretty much 20% of an assist. It doesn't seem like the bangers weights are very high here. So I don't know how much I'm valuing Mo Sider here. And if there's the risk that Mo Sider is off power play 1, then he's very similar to Darnell Nurse. And I wouldn't trade away Dorofeyev here. Brian, would you have a different take?
It's the egg, man. The guy's got the shiniest head in the league, and he's already scored 2 goals tonight. I don't know. No, I think I wouldn't want to lose Dorofeyev and Nurse for Sider, just to your point, just because of the deployment in Detroit. We don't know what that might look like. And Nurse is clearly scoring without the power play. So I think I'll hold on to Doro and Nurse.
Evan?
Yeah. No, and with the goals being weighted what they are, Dorofeyev is definitely valuable there.
Yeah. Alrighty. It's time to get us into some trade targets.
Straight talks, 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 straight talks.
All right, let us know what you think. Do you like it? Maybe we can workshop some more things. I know Brian can do a different drum beat if you like a different drum beat. Evan can sing a little higher, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, let's get into it. Our trade targets. Evan, you're up first. Who is your trade target?
I'm looking at Gabe Vilardi, and I think Nate talked about this a little bit on the flagship show. I think he's kind of, I don't know what people were expecting from Gabe Vilardi, but I certainly was expecting kind of a 65, 70-point player after what he showed last year. He's got 14 points in 19 games played, but only 6 goals. His shots are actually up recently in the past few games. He only got 5 points on the power play. Last year, he had 25 power play points in 71 games. I think this is a guy that his role is super secure. He's going to stay on that top line, top power play with Scheifele, Kyle Connor, Morrissey. He's going to get to work. That power play was amazing last year. We all kind of booked in some regression for Winnipeg, but I still think he's an underrated piece of that. They really like to run it through him on that power play, and he can get his points in bunches and do a lot for you. So I think that the underlying metrics look good. I think he has more to give. He's got a really secure role, and I don't think people really value him that highly. I think he's kind of like a supplementary piece that is looked at, but I think he can do a little bit more for you. I think you could end up trading some higher performing wingers. Like a Dawson Mercer comes to mind for me, just some of these guys that aren't going to maintain all year, even like a Jack Roslovic, somebody like that, Victor Olofsson. Get this guy in your lineup. He's secure. He's good. And I think he'll get to business.
Yeah. I love that. I think it's sneaky. Like if they drafted Vilardi, they're probably disappointed in what he's doing so far. And everything looks good on the underlying metrics. Things are just gonna go his way a little more. They'll probably go his way a little more as the season goes on.
Yeah, and also want to add, you'd have to pull the numbers up because I don't know off the top of my head, but I feel like Vilardi did this similarly last year, and towards the end of last year, he was putting up constantly multi-point games, multi-goal games. Like, he's an efficient player, and he's going to get into a lot more of those power play points as the year goes on. So yeah, Evan, I think that's a great target. I'd be looking for Gabe Vilardi too.
Yeah, hopefully he doesn't get injured for your fantasy playoffs like he did last year. He was absolutely crushing it last year, and then he's just like, "Okay, fantasy playoffs, bye everyone."
You don't need me for that.
Yeah. All right, getting into my trade target, we have Gino Evgeny Malkin, and the reason I'm highlighting Malkin is because if you haven't heard, I have yet to get a win in the APL in Tier 1. I'm in last, dead last. I'm 0-6. Nate was there with me, but Nate got a win last week, so good for him. Very happy for him. But I need to make some moves. I have a bunch of injuries, and I just completed this trade. Reese's Pieces, nice doing business with you. I think I overpaid, but I think I need to right now. and I'm going for Evgeny Malkin. Evgeny Malkin is on a 99-point pace. Anyone's probably looking at this trade. I traded away Carter Verhaeghe and Val Nichushkin, and I got Malkin. And they're probably thinking, Malkin is nothing. Like, what are you doing? This is like 23 points in 19 games. Great. He'll get another 23 in the remaining 60 games probably. But I disagree. I think things are looking good for Malkin, and his minutes won't change. If anything, they'll go up as like they start trading things away if he stays on the team. His IPP numbers are reasonable at 70%. His shots per 60 are up. His scoring chances per 60 are up. Expected goals are up. And his shooting percentage is reasonable at 12.5% at even strength. And he's only shooting 6% on the power play. But he is really doing a lot on that power play, and he's in on 70% of those goals. And the power play will definitely come down. Pittsburgh's power play is, I believe, 34% conversion rate right now. So that'll come down for sure, but I do think they can stay in the top 10. He was red hot and surprised everyone with 83 points in 2023. I can see him just, continuing to surprise everyone as the season goes on and probably finish with 70 to 75 points this season. So in my opinion, this is a buy high. People are going to be super happy to sell high on him, and I'll buy high, and people are probably expecting him to finish with 65 points. I'm going to say 70 to 75. And the price I gave up of Carter Verhaeghe, who you might hear about later in this episode, and Val Nichushkin, who's injured, I think it's a fair price, and Malkin's going to help my team right now. What about you guys? Do you think I got fleeced?
Well, let's take a look here. One of the comments, Malkin takes a break every year, especially if they're in a playoff hunt. You know what? I don't know. It's tough to say because, we'll get into Carter Verhaeghe, and Nichushkin always misses some time. So if Malkin is hot, he's getting good deployment, like he might put up a lot of points. In my instance, I hope he doesn't, because I'm playing against him this week. That's the way I'm seeing it. But, I think this actually looks like a pretty fair trade.
Yeah, I agree. I like your spot on it, Ryan, because you need to win now, and Malkin's doing things now, and we don't know with Val Nichushkin. I don't know if you guys saw the clip. He was on the ice with no skates, just puck handling and stuff. But Bednar said he's week to week, and they really just have no idea when he's going to come back. We know what he gets into when he's off the ice, so I'm a little scared from that perspective as well. I think this is a win for you, Ryan. I think some people might say Val is going to be worth more in the end, but I think people forget they tinker with that top power play too much. Like, even before he was injured, he was off that top power play in the game before. So, I like this trade for you. Carter Verhaeghe we'll get into in Fantasy Hockey Court.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thanks for praising this trade. I hope it can bring me a win and take me out of last place in the APL. I do have 6 players on IR Plus, and I was trying to just dangle them, be like, hey guys, come trade for these guys. I need help now. And Nichushkin was one of them. So we did that.
There you go. That'll work.
All right, Brian, let's hear about Seth Jarvis.
Yeah, Seth Jarvis. So a lot of teams would have probably drafted Jarvis pretty high. I'd say maybe fifth round, in around there. And I'm looking at some of his underlying metrics, and I'm noticing Seth Jarvis, he is a stud. We all know that. We all know Seth Jarvis is a stud. He has great deployment in Carolina as far as deployment goes. But if I'm looking at his stats this year versus last year, his point production is slightly down. His power play points are almost non-existent compared to last year. And I think both of those are going to positively regress. So I think he's going to continue to be on a line with Aho. He's going to be getting some points. He'll be continue to get more points. I'm also noticing he is shooting more, which tells me he's getting his chances. He's hitting and blocking less, which means he's focused more on offense. He could just be gripping his stick a little too tight. He's a little stressed, if anything. But that's not to say he's been horrible, because he actually has been pretty decent. But he's been in a little bit of a quote unquote cold stretch. I think he has 1 or 2 points over the last 5 games. So if you're going to find it's a time to pick up Jarvis, I would say now would be the best time to pick him up. Also, on top of that, the underlying metric shooting percentage is down, on-ice shooting percentage, individual scoring chances 4/60, and all of those I think are going to positively regress. So, from my standpoint, I'd be looking to get away from even someone like Gunther for Jarvis, because I love Jarvis' try eligibility. He gives you a lot of everything, and he's going to get you a lot of points as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. And this is a very interesting trade target right now because me and Evan are in a league together. I drafted Seth Jarvis right in the 50 range that you said. And as a Seth Jarvis owner, I'm happy with like what he's done so far. Like it's been fine. He's still in that rank like 50, 55-ish in this league. And it's like, okay, I'm like, if you want him, like what do you really you have to pay up. So Evan sent me a trade. He's offering me Morgan Geeky and Pavel Dorofeyev to give up Seth Jarvis. I'm not doing that. Brian, would you do that?
If I'm giving away Seth Jarvis, no, I wouldn't do that. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean he's your trade target. So
Yeah.
we're working on something. Me and Evan are working on something. I countered with it's a keeper league, so I asked him to give me a pick, and his team would get better now, and he'd give me a pick, and then the counter involved him giving me Adam Fantilli and me giving him Sam Bennett. And I think that's a little more fair, given that I'm a huge Adam Fantilli fan, and I drafted him and then dropped him, and then Evan picked him up right away and stole him from me. So we'll see what happens in that league.
It's only fair. I'll have to take a look and give it some more thought. I don't know if this is a good trade target, Brian. They're going to move down to the third line with Martinook and Stahl soon. And, I don't really know that he's going to pan out. So, yeah, I think Ryan should be panicking here. All these are good points, So, yeah, we'll see what happens. No, I love Seth Jarvis. He's great. That try eligibility and with what he's doing this year, I really have a big belief that Jarvis is going to be worth it all.
Wow, I never thought about him going down to the third line. I should probably get rid of him right away.
Yeah. Evan, I see what you're doing there. That's mind games here.
Alrighty. We got another comment here before we get into some trade grades. Brutal Wolf says, "Hey guys, love the content. I'm looking to trade Hedman for Lacombe in a dynasty points league. Goals are 1.5, assists are 1, blocks 0.15, hits 0.1. What do you think?" Interesting. I need to look up how old Victor Hedman is right now. Give me a second. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, I'd do it.
Oh yeah, I think he's approaching 35 in about a month, and Jackson Lacombe is only his value is only increasing. Evan, what about you?
Yeah, no, I agree. I actually think like if you could think, I think I said this before, like a comparable for Lacombe would be Hedman. He's playing in all situations. He's playing even strength, shorthanded on the power play. He's a good skater, got a good shot. I think he could be the new Victor Hedman. Anaheim's looking poised to continue their offensive production over the next few years as well.
Yeah. And one other thing I think of is like as defensemen get older, they typically, they can't handle the same physicality. They end up getting hurt. I always think of like Drew Doughty was always playing at 82 games or most of the season. And then last year he had the injury that put him out for a couple months to start the season. And then this year already he's hurt. He's going to miss some time as well. And I think those get correlated a little bit with age. So the older Hedman gets, his value is going to go down, and Lacombe's value is only going to go up.
Yeah. And I would just put a caveat here and make sure that you're not going for the win this year, because I do think Hedman would be much more valuable for your team this year if you're going for the win. And if you can win in a dynasty league, like in a given year, you got to go for it when you can. But if you're getting a great top D-man like this 10 years younger, and it's a legit dynasty league that will stay going, and you're not having half the teams drop out all the time, I would do this trade. And we got another comment by NXT Move. Any suggestions on getting more offensive D-man in a 12-man keeper Cats league with goals, assists, power play points, shorties, shots, hits, and blocks. He has Pionk, Fowler, Riley, Provorov, and Bischel in a 12-man league. That is a rough defenseman core, I think. He does have Yossi and Harley on the IR. That is very unlucky that those top defensemen there got injured for you. Getting more offensive D-man. Yeah, so, I mean, take a look at all of these low-owned defensemen that are on power play 1. We have Axel, our boy Axel Sandin Pellikka. He's worthy of a stream, and if he stays there, he's a hold. Take a look at Zeev Buium. He might be owned. You guys got some suggestions there?
No, that would be my suggestion. Go take a look at someone who is a power play 1 quarterback. A lot of lineups a lot of teams do a lot of shuffling throughout the year. So who knows whether it's like who is that in Philadelphia? Is it Bobby Brink? Is that a defenseman? Did I make that up?
No, that he's a winger. They got York and Drysdale.
Yeah, that's right. Sorry, York. You had York there for a bit. You have, Toronto, they had OEL up there for a little bit. So like there is definitely some good streamer options, but someone like ASL, he in Detroit, he could have a little bit longer term value for you. So yeah, I'd take a look. Go follow a couple Twitter accounts. Take a look at what Ryan posts on Twitter because he always, has a little content there too.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I did a post recently. Current power play 1 defenseman under 60% owned. We have Buium, OEL, Nemec, Levshinov, Klingberg, but he got scratched. Sandin Pellikka, Nick Blankenberg, and Darren Radish. So go pick up any of those guys for the short term, and then if anything sticks, they could be a hold.
I think Levshinov really good. I claimed him in a league yesterday. I think he's really getting to business there, and I think they like him more currently than Renzel, so I think he's going to be good. That power play in Chicago is really doing stuff. Another Bedard Hattie yesterday.
Yeah. Don't remind me.
Sorry.
All right, let's get into some trade grades. The first one here, it's a 12-team APL points league, and it is the APL in Tier 1. And look who this is submitted by. It's submitted by Nate. As I was saying, me and Nate not doing so well in this league so far. So Nate is giving away Austin Matthews, and he's receiving Artemi Panarin and Lundell. All righty. So we have Brian up first.
Yeah. Personally, I don't off the hop. I wouldn't be making this trade just because one, Matthews is coming back soon. And you're going to get Panarin and Lundell, which is great, but I could be swayed, but the reason I gave it a B-, I should probably start by saying what I gave it a B- is because I don't think that's enough to give away to get, or to give away Matthews here. Lundell has been okay. Panarin's just picked it up recently, but I don't really know what the Rangers are going to look like the rest of the season. I feel like there's a lot going on there. Panarin seems like a safe bet. He's going to give you a lot of points, but I think in terms of completeness as a player, Matthews, I think we've seen him a lot closer to his floor than his ceiling. There's still a lot left to be desired for Matthews. And I think as the captain of the Leafs, he will have to turn it around or their season will be over too. So I think I'm expecting a lot more out of Matthews rest of season.
All right. I like this trade more than Brian. I'm giving this a B. I would do this trade, and I think it's a great move by Nate. Guys, I'm not just sucking up here. I actually like this move, but I only like it because I didn't like that he drafted Austin Matthews where he did. Sorry, I got to double check where he did. It may have been 5th or 6th, and that's fine. Or may have been later. But I am not an Austin Matthews fan here. I'm a Leafs fan, but I'm really worried on some of his stats going down, but I'm most worried about his injury and just his multiple injuries, his injury history, the injury narrative that a lot of people like to ignore. I think when you're drafting, it's fine to ignore it because you can just throw him on IR plus and pick up a streamer. But if you're 0-5 or 1-5 in Tier 1 of the APL, and you have Austin Matthews who could miss another 5 games in the future here and there, and then 3 games there and another 2 games there, that's not good. And you're not going to make the playoffs. So you want to get someone who has a good history. Anything can happen. Maybe Artemi Panarin trips and falls in the parking lot like Jack Hughes, but Panarin has played 80 plus games in the last 3 seasons. and I just like that. It's stable. It's similar production that Matthews is going to put up, I think, for the rest of the season. You're taking a little bit of a downgrade, and Lindell can help you right now too. So I'm giving it a B. Evan.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a C plus. I'm a little more where Brian's at. I'm not a Leafs fan, so I haven't suffered as much as you guys have. The problem with Matthews is, he went to Germany last year. He got the hair transplant. One of his hair plugs has become loose. It's gonna fall out soon. He needs to miss a few games. Needs to get back to Germany. I get the concern. I do. I think like the context here is important because if I'm Nate, I would make this trade. If I was 0-6 in the APL, this is a fine trade. I do think you can get more for Matthews, but when you're in tier 1 APL, people are thinking very similarly and concerned about this injury narrative with Matthews. And I think the Leafs as a whole, looking at their production, but and I will say I think Lindell's super underrated. I think at the beginning of the season, I was super high on Lindell going late in drafts because with Barkov being out, like he has stepped up and he's shown that he can be that player and he's getting that top power play look now. And it looks more stable now in Florida. So I do like the trade for Nate with where he's at, but just looking at the trade, like for what it is, like in this league, if we're ignoring the fact that he's 0-6, I still think he could have gotten more from Matthews. And I think Matthews is the best individual player if he is playing. That's why I gave it a C plus.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Like this is a trade where I think if it was submitted the other way and the context was I'm 5-1 in the APL and I'm happy to sit and wait on Matthews for him to pop off, like I'd probably give that a B too. So it's just a great trade on both sides.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Trade number 2 here. We have a 14-team Cats League with goals, assists, power play points, shots on goal, hits, and blocks. It was submitted by Fraser 4628. We are giving away Mackenzie Weegar and Podkolzin, and we are receiving Nico Hischier, Seth Jones, and Ricard Raquel, who's currently on the IR Plus. All right, I'm starting this one off. I'm giving this an A- right away. Mackenzie Weegar, guys, we got to jump ship. He was unseated by Zane Parekh, and then Zane Parekh didn't really do anything, so Mackenzie Weegar got put back on the top power play, but now we have Rasmus Anderson running that top power play. Either way, Calgary's power play is atrocious, and Mackenzie Weegar is still doing nothing about it. And if Mackenzie Weegar doesn't get like 10 to 15 power play points, all of a sudden the 45 to 50 point range is now in the 35 point range, and he might be worse than Darnell Nurse as a hold here in a Bangers Cats League. Like he's just good for his hits, blocks, and shots here. So the reason I'm not giving this an A or an A plus is because half of these categories are shots, hits, and blocks, which Weegar should still help fill. But we're just getting a nice haul here of Hischier, a buy low. He should turn it around. Seth Jones and Ricard Raquel. And we're losing hits with Weegar and Podkolzin, but we're gonna get a lot in goals, assists, and power play points. Evan.
I'm giving this an A plus. I think to your point of losing the shots, hits, and blocks, you're right. But in a Cats League like this, I'm sure you could fill it out in another way. Pick up the Eggman, get the Eggman in a trade. You're getting Nico Hischier at his lowest point, but I think he's still going to do fairly decent. Seth Jones has recently turned it around. He had 2 goals yesterday. I think Seth Jones by himself. I know like Weegar is getting to work with these other Cats, but yeah, and Raquel's kind of underrated. He does a lot of that too if he comes back and sticks with Pittsburgh. So I really like this trade. I was very concerned about Weegar going into this year with Parekh coming in. We've seen it with Montreal where, Mike Matheson, people drafted him like fairly high, and then Lane Hudson came in and completely stole that like 20 games into the season. So I was super concerned about that with Weegar this year. And then on top of that, I had no idea they were going to be showcasing Rasmus Anderson on that top power play. So it's been bad for Weegar. I picked him up in a 10-team league where he had waivers, and I was super excited, but now I'm kind of thinking about dropping him.
That's fair.
Brian.
Yeah, I'm giving this a big boom. I give this an A plus. Also, Rasmus Anderson scored tonight, so just throwing that out there. Yeah, you're giving away Uyghur and Podkolzin. Their biggest assets are their hits. But in return, you're getting Nico Heischer, who has been blocking a lot for forward. So you like to see that. He's like, to Evan's point, you're getting him at his lowest point of the season. Last game he started, he looked really good last game. I think that's going to progress. It takes on a larger role with Jack Hughes out. Seth Jones also is started to look like himself again, and he blocks a little bit, he hits a little bit, and then Raquel, actually, he's when healthy, he's stapled to Crosby, so he's going to get some points. But on top of that, he's also, before he went down to injury, he was averaging over a block a game, he was averaging a hit a game, he's averaging almost 2 shots a game. Like, those will play. So I think all in all, you're not even going to be losing the hits category by too much, to be honest, by giving away Uyghur and Podkolzin. So if I'm going to make an upgrade on all the offense and then the perfs, I have a slight downgrade, I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, nice. All right, Brian, you want to introduce us to trade number 3?
Absolutely. So trade number 3 submitted by Golden Knight Owls. It's a points league. Goal is worth 4.5. Assist is 3. Power play point 0.75. Shorthanded point is 1. Game-winning goal is 0.2. Shots on goal 0.5. Hits 0.3. Blocks 0.55. And face-off wins is 0.07. So in this one, you're going to be giving away Elias Pettersson, and you're going to be receiving JT Miller.
All right. I'm starting this one off, and I'm giving this an A. I love this trade. With Pettersson and Miller, so Miller, you're downgrading blocks a bit. Pettersson's gonna block a lot more. He's actually blocking like crazy this year. I think it's close to 2 blocks a game. That will come down, but he could clear 100 blocks, which would be insane. JT Miller, he'll get around 60 blocks, so you're getting a downgrade there. But the face-off wins, I think, wash that out. Miller is a much better face-off man and will probably get 100 to 200 more wins than Pettersson on the same amount of face-offs taken. So I think the blocks and the face-off wins are a wash here. And then JT Miller, I mean, he's on a 43-point pace. Pettersson's on a 75-point pace. I think that Pettersson is running hot. JT Miller is running super cold. And JT Miller just has, I think, more of a, although he looked terrible in that play last night where they got scored on in Vegas, he is a lot safer to clear 70 points. And Pettersson just has a larger range of outcomes where Pettersson could get 80 points. I don't think he can clear 80 points in this season, given the numbers there in Vancouver, but he could also drop way down to the 55-60 range if things just go terribly. So Miller is just the safer bet here for me. I'm giving it an A.
All right, Brian's boom here. I'm giving it a B. So yes, I think I'd still make this trade, but I'd have a hard time making it just because take a look at both players at face value, what they are today. So Ryan, I agree with your point, the points you made so far, but Elias Pettersson has looked a lot better than JT Miller. And not to mention he's scoring a lot more than JT Miller. And my biggest worry with JT Miller is he had some issues in Vancouver last year. I wonder if there's some issue, like just on the background, like what's going on in the locker room. So like, I wonder if that's actually going to affect him and he has another down year because he's started ice cold. And for a while we were like, okay, it's going to get a lot better. But then recently, even the last time I checked, even the underlines weren't looking too hot for JT Miller. So I think I still would. I believe in the player JT Miller as a more complete player than Elias Pettersson. And yeah, the blocks are definitely going to regress for Pettersson. He's not going to keep blocking 3 blocks a game. I don't think so. He's not Alex Tuck. Yeah, I think I'm still making that trade. It's just hard to do right now with how well Elias Pettersson's playing. I guess that's why it would be the best time to make that trade.
Oh, sorry, guys. Give me a second here. I was trigger finger here. Now you're seeing all the... There we go. Evan, you're up on this trade.
Yeah, I kind of echo Brian's take on this. I would make the trade. I give it a B. I would make the trade. I think you're trading for JT Miller at his lowest point. I think if this trade gets offered at the beginning of the season, it doesn't even get accepted. Mm-hmm. So being able to get JT Miller for Pettersson is good. I do like what I'm seeing from Elias Pettersson recently. I think a lot of people We're kind of down on him. It's interesting, like, to make this trade based on the drama that occurred between the two last year. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, I think Pettersson's gonna be like the focal point of that offense in Vancouver. The problem is the pieces around him. Like, JT Miller is doing a lot of what Pettersson is, and he's in a much friendlier offensive environment. So I think it is a more likely scenario that JT Miller turns it around and ups his scoring and has the amazing perfs, including faceoffs and blocks like Pettersson. So yeah, I give it a B. I would do it, and I'd be pretty happy with it. But to Brian's point, it is tough to do right now based on what they're both doing at the current moment.
Yeah, agreed. Elias Pettersson, he's a real Darnell Nurse of his team. He drives that. He drives all the offense. All right, Brian, you want to introduce this trade here?
Yeah. We got a 10-team Rotus league or points league here. So goals are 2, assists 1, power play 0.1, as well as shorthanded points is 1, game-winning goals 0.5, shots on goal 0.1, hits 0.2, blocks 0.2, and you get 0 to 5 keepers. This one was submitted by I don't even know how to say this. Raj Gnostic. Did I say that right? Anyways, you're going to be giving away Rasmus Dahlin, Jesper Bratt, Marty Necas, and you're going to be receiving Kaprizov and Panarin. So Brian's boom. We gave it a B minus. So I'm giving this one a B minus here. Reason being, I'm looking at what you're giving away. You're giving away an awful lot in Dahlin, Bratt, Necas for Kaprizov and Panarin, where you got to keep in mind that hits are weighted like more than shots, and blocks are weighted more than shots. And Dahlin is going to give you a lot more blocks than Kaprizov and Panarin, maybe in the span of 2 weeks. So that is very useful. And then Bratt is also an underrated hitter. So he's going to get you hits. He's going to still put up points. And then Necas, as we know, he's stapled to McKinnon. So I think you're just giving away too much to receive 2 studs. Mind you, you're getting Kaprizov and Panarin, which is fantastic. I just think in terms of the scoring for this league, it would be hard pressed to give away the rest of the peripheral categories, I guess, to make up for Kaprizov and Panarin. So B minus for me.
All right. Well, I disagree, but I'm giving this a B plus. Although hits and blocks are more than shots, goals are 2, assists are 1. So goals are worth twice as many as assists, which is very like a heavier weighting than a lot of normal points leagues. APL goal is 5 and an assist is 3.5, I believe. Yep. But this goal is 2 times as much, and Kaprizov and Panarin each have the potential to score 40 plus goals, where Jesper Bratt, he's not doing that. He's going to get 80 assists instead in his peak season. Marty Necas, he could score 40 goals, but he's not shooting as much as you would have hoped for. And that's because he's feeding Nathan McKinnon shooting 10 shots a game. So I do see Necas busting off in the assist column more and probably regressing a bit in the goals. He is on fire scoring goals though. But yeah, I just think you're getting you're getting Kaprizov, which is a top, let's say 7 stud, and it's a keeper league, and you're upgrading a keeper here to a top 7 player. Anytime in a keeper league that you can get like a top first round player from players who aren't in the first round, I'm doing that. And then Panarin is almost as valuable in the second round here. Probably more valuable than Bratt, more valuable than Necas. So again, I'm getting the best players available and probably more valuable than Dahlin too. The reason being, this person said that they were pretty set with defense. He didn't get much context there, but he said he was set on defense, meaning that maybe he wasn't gonna even keep Dahlin. So it's a 10-team keep 5, so only 50 players get kept. And yeah, if you're thinking about not keeping Dahlin, yeah, go get Kaprizov and Panarin here, and I love it.
So Ryan, why didn't you give it an A?
Why didn't I give it an A? Well, I would consider Dahlin a keeper, and we didn't get the full picture of his team with all the other defensemen. Why didn't I give it an A? Yeah, Bratt, Necas. I'm a Necas fan. I love Marty Necas.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Fair enough. All right, fair enough.
So I'm gonna give this a C. I get the context of this guy saying that he is set on defense. I mean, what does that mean? Does that mean he has like Kale McCarr, Quinn Hughes, Zach Werenski on the team? Like, what are his defensemen that he's like willing to give up Darlene like as a keeper? I don't know. I think Darlene is a top 3 D man in the league. If he was on any other team but Buffalo, he'd probably score like 80, 90 points. But I agree. I agree with Brian here. I love Kaprizov and Panarin. I really do. I just think that you're giving up too much. You're giving up a top tier defenseman. Brad and Nikas on their own can, be a point per game or higher player. Like I just really think like if you swapped out like Broder Nikas with like Konechny or like some other kind of mid winger, I think you'd have more of a case for me, or even like Darlene to like Morrissey or something. I don't know. I think those 3 combined, the value is just too high. You are getting the 2 best players like in the deal, but yeah, I think it's too much for me personally.
All right. In other news, Ryan Leonard just scored his 2nd goal of tonight. If you listened in last week, he was my trade target, especially in Dynasty League. So I hope you listened.
Tune in.
Yes, where Brian's trade targets, they get healthy scratched right after. So
One time.
Wow.
Yeah. Side note, I'm also still getting roasted for when we were doing the mock drafts, and I had picked up what was it, Neil Pionk and Josh Morrissey, and someone messaged in the comments,
Dylan.
hey, DeMella's still available. I'm like, my God. People don't forget.
Nice. Yeah. Well, hopefully Seth Jarvis doesn't get healthy scratched. We'll have to see though.
Oh yeah, that'll be something.
All right. Before we get into the 5th trade grade, Ryan O'Toole, are you related to Dan O'Toole? Maybe. Is McNabb worth a high waiver claim in Banger Cats No Pims League? I think not, unless it's like an 18 team league.
Mhm.
If it's super deep, yeah, he might be. But if it's standard 12, even to 14, I think definitely not. The blocks are great, but it's just one category, and I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I echo that.
Same.
And Brady McLaren, thoughts on giving away Tuck and Wilson to receive JT Miller and Forsberg? Are you kidding me? Yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat.
A+.
How many pluses can you add to the A? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, maybe it's Keandre Miller. If it's Keandre Miller, I would not do it.
Agree.
Yeah.
All right. And then Key XY 12-team points league. We got the points up there. Pretty standard. Give Dorofeyev and get Swayman. He has too many wingers and he's looking for more stability in net. Well, if you're looking for stability in net, go to a different podcast because stability in net does not exist. The goalie position is unstable by its nature, but it looks like I think this is a standard Yahoo points league, and goalies are a little overpowered there. And Swayman's been crushing it, so I don't know. I don't know if I would do it. Dorofeyev for Swayman, 12-teamer. What do you guys think?
I mean, without knowing, goals against are -3. No, I'm not doing that. I'd rather Doro.
It depends on his wingers. Like if he really truly has like some top tier wingers and he really needs help in net, sure. But outside of that, yeah, no, I wouldn't. I never would trade for a goalie unless I was in absolutely dire straits and the player involved was kind of like a tier above his streamer.
And you're getting Hellebuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Ben Clark, I give Genther and Yossi for Velarde and Hedman. Ooh, is that an overpay for Velarde and Hedman? Evan, he's your trade target.
I think that might be a little bit of an overpay. I am concerned for Yossi, like rest of season. Like he's been out now it's been like 3 weeks or something. Like, and we've had like no update on his status. Like I am definitely concerned for Yossi. And even when he comes back, like Nashville has been awful. So I just think, I think Gunther might be a little bit much that. If you got like a lower end winger, maybe then, but Hedman's injured too now. I think he's closer to a return, but yeah, I'm not sure that I would do that.
I wouldn't.
All right. Let's get into trade number 5 here. We got a 12-team points league where, again, goals are worth twice as much as assists here. Goals 3, assists 1.5. Elsewhere of note, a hit is 0.3, block 0.2, shot 0.2, and a penalty minute is 0.1. And then we got some goalie stuff over there, save 0.2 and goals against -1, with a win being 4.5. Interesting. So we're giving away Shea Theodore and Jacob Markstrom, and we're receiving Lane Hudson. This is submitted by Swingnut. And we have Evan, you're up.
So yeah, I gave this a C+. I wouldn't do this. I'm probably lower on Lane Hudson than most people this year. I think that he could very well get 60 points again. I don't think it's going to be much higher than that. They're doing weird things with the power play. Lane Hudson's still getting some decent point production, but his peripherals outside of blocks are not great. Shea Theodore's starting to get to biz here recently. Like, he's actually scoring and doing some stuff. And I think even without that top power play spot, he still could be an easily 45, 50 point defenseman on Vegas. He just hasn't been, getting the points recently. Jacob Markstrom, I gave this grade before the game last night. I dropped Jacob Markstrom in a spot. It's weird. I don't know. He's getting injured constantly. They said he's a little banged up. Jake Allen's going to start the next game. So I think Jacob Markstrom, I don't know what to do with him. But in this league where goalie wins are 4.5, he definitely is worth more, because theoretically the Devils should win some games and he should get some points that way. So I just think that Theodore and Hudson are too close to then throw in Jacob Markstrom, who should be considered at least a top 15 goalie if he's healthy. So that's kind of where I'm at on this.
Yeah, I like this one. I'm giving it a B+, so I would make this trade. The way I look at it is Markstrom doesn't exist because we don't talk about goalies here. No, joking. But Markstrom's been hurt. He's in and out of the lineup. I know, the last couple of years especially, the Devils don't really allow too many shots. So, when you get a goal against, it'll be pretty staggering that, against Markstrom's number. And considering Theodore isn't even on the top power play anymore, and that points count, those do count in this format here. It's an extra 0.5. I would take Hudson. He's going to be on the top power play. Obviously he's a great offensive talent. He's not pacing as what we expected, or I guess some people expected, considering he was drafted really high. But yeah, I would prefer to have Lane Hudson than having Theodore and Markstrom, especially a 12 team. You could probably find other goalies to stream.
All right. I'm with Brian here, but even more so, I'm giving this an A-. I do not think Theodore and Hudson are of similar value. Theodore has been banished to the shadow realm of power play 2 on Vegas. No matter who Vegas puts on power play 1, they got Braden Bowman on there. It's Braden Bowman's season on power play 1. They're rolling 5 forwards on there, and Shea Theodore is on power play 2, which they did score last game with 10 seconds left of a power play. Theodore scored on the power play, but that's going to be rare. So Lane Hudson here, he's still on a nice pace of 69 points, which is very nice. And his shot rates have increased on the power play. His shots per 60 is almost doubled from last year. So he's being more of a trigger man on that top power play. And he's probably going to end up with more than the 1 power play goal that he got last season, and possibly more goals in general than Shea Theodore. Theodore has never been the crazy goal scorer. He does shoot a ton, but he shoots for the rebounds and gets those assists. Mm-hmm. Hudson, I think with some more development, he can score more than the 6 goals. Yeah, he got 6 goals last year. I think he can get up to 10, especially with some more power play goals. So I love this trade. Jacob Markstrom is outside of the top 15 in goalies for me. And anytime there's a goalie there, he's the same as a waiver stream. I'd rather have a stream of a backup on a strong team.
Yeah.
All righty.
All right.
You gonna add some?
No, I was just going to go on to the next trade here. We got a 12-team Cats League. We got goals, assists, power play points, plus minus, shots on goal, and hits. This one was submitted by Maritimer. You're going to be giving away, hey, look at that, Shea Theodore and Lehkonen, and you're going to be receiving Yossi and Olofsson.
Alrighty, Evan, you're up.
So I'd give this a B. I would make this trade. I know I just noted I was concerned about Yossi. If I'm remembering correctly, the context of this was he was in a pretty good spot and he had an IR spot for Yossi. So he's trying to do an upgrade. And he's doing well enough in his league to do that now. And Theodore was kind of the lower rung of his defenseman. So I would do this trade just in the sense that if Yossi does come back, he should be a great defenseman for his team. He basically said he was going to drop Olofsson, I believe, as well. So this is really like a 2-for-1. Shea Theodore, to me is still like a decent defenseman, but Arturi Lehkonen, I don't really value him as high as some people might. They shuffle around that top power play too much. He is getting good even strength deployment, but I really don't see him as much more than like a 55-point player. Like, I guess ceiling could be like 60, 65, but I find that hard to believe when all the offense is running through Nikas, McKinnon, and Cale Makar. So I would do this trade for hopes of a healthy Yossi.
Yeah, I do not see it the same. I'm giving this a D, as in don't do it. You're going to be receiving Yossi and Olofsson. Olofsson, we've talked about him previously, and he's either going to be boom or bust. And I don't think you can really count on that. And I understand in the context here, the plan is to drop him. Then what's the point of making the trade? Yossi here, like, we don't really know how Yossi's going to be the rest of the year. He's already injured. He's been out for some time. And you're giving away a little bit more sure things. Like, you see, Lehkonen has been pretty much stapled a lot of the season to McKinnon, so he's going to reap the benefits of playing with McKinnon. That does help. He's going to see a lot of goals, assists, points. Like, he's going to get it there. And then Shea Theodore, we just talked about him. He's still producing, even though he's not on the top power play. And if he's not getting the top power play, his power play points will come down. But I would still take a healthy Theodore and Lehkonen than an injury-riddled Yossi, especially because we have no idea of the health when Yossi's back. Oh, I should also add, on a Nashville team that can't score. So...
Yeah, I'm smack in the middle of both of you here. I'm giving this a C. I would not do this trade, but I don't think you're getting fleeced here. Yossi does have a lot of upside, but I'm not taking this trade. I'm not going for that risky upside. Olofsson is a streamer level player in my opinion, so it's Theodore and Lehkonen for Yossi. I really like Lehkonen on the top line and top power play, and he's not getting moved off that top line anytime soon. So I'm riding this. I'm keeping him.
Ryan, I got a question for you because I think you have Yossi in a few spots, right? Would you accept that trade then if somebody sent that Theodore and Lehkonen to you for Roman Yossi?
Yep, 100%.
Wow. Okay.
especially
not the answer he was expecting.
Especially if I needed help.
Yeah.
In the
now.
Yeah. Evan, 0-5. He went over this. He's 0-5. He needs to make some moves.
All right. Trade number 7 here by Kerfuffle. 12-team Cats League. Goals, assists, power play points, shots, hits, blocks, and penalty minutes. So a real true banger here. Banger Cats League. We're giving away Nick Ehlers and Brock Faber, and we're receiving Braden Point. I'm giving this an A. This is a great trade. None of the categories here factor in too much, except for Brock Faber giving you some blocks. Like pretty great blocks, to be honest. But Nick Ehlers and Brock Faber for Braden Point. Braden Point, even in a banger Cats League, he's still a top 40 player. He'll finish as a top 40 player. I'm not worried about Braden Point. I actually own him in a few spots, and it's been very disappointing so far, but I'm not worried at all. I wouldn't even entertain any trades lowering his value from where I drafted him. So give him this an A.
Yeah, A+ for me. Big believer in a Braden Point bounce back, especially for like the value of what you're giving away. I mean, I like Nick Ehlers and I like Brock Faber, but I like Braden Point a lot more. So give me that A+.
That's fair. A little bit less than you guys. I gave it a B+. So yes, I'm still making the trade because I believe in Braden Point. You're giving away Nick Ehlers and Faber. Like you're going to be getting the best player in return. It's just a little concerning that Point still can't put up points. But that would be like in the back of my mind. So yeah, I'd still make the trade. I'd take Point.
All right. That concludes our trade grades, and it is time to go to court. We are taking Carter Verhaeghe to hockey court. I am prosecuting this bad man with this bad mugshot. If you're watching on the YouTube, you'll see his mugshot. He actually got arrested when he was charged for not actually being unlucky last season and just finding himself on the good side of luck from 2022 to 2024. He was charged with that, and now we're bringing him to court. He wasn't too happy with it when we took his mugshot. He put on his old Syracuse Crunch jersey, just like a throwback, and he's like, yeah, okay, do what you got to do here. I'm going to hire the best lawyer in town. So, but unlucky for him, the best prosecutor in town is myself right now. So Carter Verhaeghe, 19 games played, 2 goals, 8 assists, 45 shots, and 17 hits. That brings him to an 82 game pace of 43 points, 194 shots, and 73 hits. That would be a huge disappointment for anyone who drafted him. And yeah, I drafted him in the APL, and I just traded him away for Evgeny Malkin. I think that I was saying that he was one of the most unlucky players last season, but now I'm convinced otherwise. I don't think he was unlucky at all, and he might just be bad. He might just be a chucker who misses the net a ton. His shots per 60 is way down to 6.3 shots per 60 at even strength. His scoring chances are down. Expected goals are down. His IPP is still up at a 67%, which is reasonable and should stick around. His on-ice metrics do look a lot better, but it's not because of him. It's not because of Carter Verhaeghe. What Carter Verhaeghe is doing is he's taking these low-quality shot attempts and he's missing the net with them and turning the puck over. The on-ice numbers are coming from Reinhart and Marchand, and if he gets shifted off of that line 1 top power play, I think he's definitely droppable. Yeah, his power play numbers look good. They look sustainable, but he could get the power play 2 treatment when Matt Tkachuk returns, and most importantly, for your fantasy playoffs. So yeah, things aren't looking good for Carter Verhaeghe. I have him sentenced to not return to 60 points. He'll stay under the 60-point mark. We'll see what the judge says. Brian, best lawyer in town. What do you think?
Yeah, so here's the thing. Carter Verhaeghe did hire the best lawyer in town, but the best lawyer in town took his money and left after seeing the evidence. So I am the court mandated defendant here. So I'll do my best to defend the guy here. As you take a look at Carter Verhaeghe, you got to take a look at the other players around him, honestly, because you look at Sam Reinhart. Sam Reinhart's scoring a lot. Does he have an even strength goal yet? Or an even strength assist yet this year? I don't know. He might have one, might have none. So maybe if Reinhart passes on the puck, he'll get some more chances. He'll be able to shoot and score. Right now, Carter Verhaeghe is on power play 1, and the Panthers have been constantly shuffling their lineup. So they keep doing that because of injuries, because of whatever. They need to start winning. So when something sticks, he's going to settle into the role as well, and I think he's going to be bouncing back just nicely. You did make a note of his underlying metrics, which is good to note. Yeah, Corsi 4 per 60 is amazing. He's at 5th, but you say that's because of Reinhart. Again, if Reinhart gave him the puck and didn't shoot everything, then he could get some goals too, get in on the fun. Expected goals per 60 rank is also pretty good. He's at 44. And those are over the last 5 games, I should say. So he's starting to find some chemistry. Things are clicking for his line. It just so happens that he's not the one putting the puck in the net. And then lastly, over the last 5 games, his on-ice shooting percentage has gone up a little bit. So you know what? I just trust in Carter Verhaeghe. He's getting good deployment. It's going to settle down. He's going to start scoring. Last year, he hit every single post in every single building that's possible. I don't think it's possible for that to continue for another 82 games. So I think things are going to start clicking for him. And for that reason, you should say he's not guilty. He just trust in Carter Verhaeghe. I rest my case.
Very good points from both of you. As the judge today, I have to sentence Carter Verhaeghe to prison forever for the rest of his time in the NHL. He is guilty. I've dropped him in a few spots. I just don't think that it really comes to fruition this year, the bounce back. Barkov, I think he really misses Barkov more than anybody on that top line facilitating to him. And it's kind of been proven that he can't generate enough for himself. Like Ryan said, he's shooting, but he's shooting right into other players or missing the net. Like he's shooting everywhere but into the net. If you watch him on the power play, because they finally have him on power play 1, he is like the last person to touch the puck. Whenever they send it to him, I get scared he's going to turn it over. Seth Jones is like looking over at him on the left side and being like, nope, don't want to go there. He goes back to Marchand or Lundell. So, it's scary times for Carter Verhaeghe. I just think without Barkov, his fantasy value plummets. And then with Matthew Tkachuk coming back, they already said like they're targeting a December return possibly for him. So when he comes back, he's for sure getting off power play 1. So yeah, I think Carter Verhaeghe can be dropped in most 12-team leagues or higher. I think he's guilty.
So, Evan, what you're saying is I'm out of a job now. Thanks a lot. This is horrible. There goes my law career.
You were given an unfair case here, Brian. I think we have to cut you some slack. This was really hard to defend, especially with that mugshot.
Yeah, that's
look at that
mugshot.
Yeah. Yeah. You mentioned the power play. When you're watching a team that you like, and then on the power play they miss the net short, and the puck just goes way out of the zone, and you lose the whole chance. That's what Carter Verhaeghe does.
I will say he got 2 assists in the last game. I don't know how many power plays they had last game, but they must have had like 7 power plays, and he only got 1 secondary power play assist. He just happened to be, just sending it over to Reinhardt for 1 or something.
Yep. Alrighty. If you're not in the Discord, get into the Discord. We'd love to hear about your trades, and we'd love to put a grade on them, and you can see your trade in the next episode. So get into the Discord, put your trades in the Trade Talks mailbag, get into Apples and Ginos Patreon, a lot of good stuff there. And please rate, review, subscribe, comment on the videos. It helps us a lot. But yeah, get into the Discord community, and we'll see you in there. We also want to hear about potential offers, and we might, if we get enough of those, we can help you through making an offer to get your trade done. So feel free to either post your submitted trades or tell us, hey, this is an offer I'm thinking of. Here's my team. Here's their team. Here are the settings. Include a whole bunch of stuff, and we'd love to talk through it. But yeah, that's all we got for this episode. Hopefully it brought you some value and helped you get a little bit better at fantasy hockey. Many thanks to all of the music providers, including Matt Creamer. Thanks for listening, and go crush your fantasy leagues.